Since football is over, now we're going to talk about some fun. Am I the a-hole? Just to do something a little bit different,
It's one of my favorite topics.
right? I
Yeah.
know, right? And I'm like, just as long as it's not me, I'm okay.
I almost always am the a-hole, so.
See, I thought how funny. I mentioned yesterday, I was like, what if there was a one that was just not am I the asshole, but just I am the a-hole. And you just
Well,
talk about all the a-hole things that you do.
right? It's just me venting.
Well, I think
Exactly.
sometimes a lot of these people, I'm like, you must think that you are. That's why you're going on here and you're actually asking people.
Well, that's
I
why
don't
people
know.
write all those words to justify it, because they'll be like, well, I don't think I am. They'll like, why'd you even ask if you know you're an asshole, or if you just wanted to argue? Like, oh, you
I
need
don't
to,
know.
like, you got in a fight with your wife. You're like, I'm out of the asshole. And everybody's like, yeah. And then you argue. It's like, you just wanted to keep arguing? Like, you could have just kept arguing with your wife and moved on. Like, you didn't need to tell all these people here.
Well, I think some people just like to. They just like to argue, or they just
Yeah.
have low self-esteem. So
I think so
getting to
too.
that, so some of these are super long, and we just kind of cut them down and condensed them just so they would actually make sense. And we're not gonna, because a lot of people, like we talked about, right, Annabelle, they just want to justify like their actions, and it's like we don't need you to justify your actions. Just tell us, what did you
Yep.
do? So the first one is, this lady's been planning her wedding, and she sent out save the date announcements, and then her cousin came along who said he wants a second wedding, and now he's going to get married on the same day, and he wants his cousin to switch the date, and she's like, no way. And her cousin's all mad because he doesn't, he has his wedding in play now, and she
Yeah.
wants to know, is she in the wrong for not switching her day when she's already sent out save the date
No.
announcements?
She's not the a-hole. I'm sorry. I changed it, but I already said they were. She's not the a-hole. Because well, you've already said the save the dates out. Did it say that it was his second wedding or
It's a second wedding.
It's a
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a renewal of vows type thing, because after they never had a big wedding in the beginning.
Yeah.
But like,
No,
so it's
that's
been
just
15 years. You can't do it.
you can't let somebody have their first time.
Exactly. Like, come on, that's
Yeah.
messed up. That's just attention seeking, pick me behavior, like, or main
I
character
think so
syndrome or
too.
something.
Did he get the save the date and then he's like, oh, you know what? Actually, I do like that date. I think I'm
It
gonna
was the
use
day
that for mine.
before. So the cousin was saying, well, that's the anniversary of the day we met, so we want to have it then. So do it next year. What the hell
Too
does it
bad.
matter?
So sad.
Or you know what? If you're honestly, it doesn't matter. I mean, don't put that much time and effort into a wedding, because chances are
Right.
your marriage isn't going to last.
50% of you aren't going to be around.
Exactly. If I knew now what I know, if I knew then what I know now, would I've spent all that money on a wedding? Hell no, because that was a house down payment and I got divorced. Like, how dumb was that? I mean, yeah, it was a nice party, but really? It's crazy to me.
Well, I feel like, Mr. Poindexter and I paid for our own wedding because we were like in our 30s, and it was a second wedding, and I still feel like we and then we did it on a pretty good budget because I didn't want to spend a lot of money, but I still think it's like it was way overkill. If I had to do it all over again, it would have just been like courthouse and a nice restaurant. I mean, no one, because honestly, no one cares that you're getting married besides your really close friends and close family. So maybe like 20 to 30 people actually really care. Everybody else, they're just there to like mooch off.
They're just going for cake. That's what I'm going for. Invite me to the wedding, guys.
I've been to maybe like one wedding in the last, I don't know, really long time. And that was when our nanny got married. So like, there wasn't even like, I mean, because I think people our age, the people that have already been divorced, they're not really getting remarried yet. If they are, they're having like small, sensible weddings. Like, I remember this one restaurant I worked, we were having a wedding for this super rich couple, and it was both of their third wedding.
Damn.
And they were having a massive weading, spending like, I mean, yeah, they're rich, but still,
you just have too much money if that's the case,
right? I mean, or like
$100,000 on your third wedding? Get out of here.
Why even get married again after you've been married once? Do you really need to get married again?
Nope. I can answer that, and the answer is no. You absolutely don't, because you know what? I understand why people do, but then for some people, it's like, well, I really did strongly believe in marriage. I don't have anything against marriage, but once you've already messed one up, it's kind of like it loses the same value that like it used to hold. I think, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me,
you're not. I mean, I feel that you're not so much like at this stage in life. It's more like I'm not desperate to have that title. Like, I think a lot of younger people, maybe women more so, are like, I need the title, I need the ring, I need to know, even though that just tells you nothing. Literally, that doesn't,
Right.
you
It
having
means
that,
nothing.
yeah, that's not saving you from anything that you're worried about.
No, it just helps you with taxes, really, is the only advantage, I
Right?
think.
No, I mean, I do believe in marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I do always say like, oh, if I got divorced, I'd probably never get married again. I mean, I guess. I mean, I as I've gotten older, I've learned to say never, never say never,
Right.
because things happen, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm not
like,
against it. Like I would say, and I would never do that. Marriage sucks. I just
yeah,
don't care about it is really probably a more accurate way to think about it, you
Yeah.
know?
yeah. I look at it where I'm like, man, it's a lot of sharing and a lot of compromise.
I know. And you have to do that whether you marry somebody or not. So it's like,
And I'm kind of selfish. I don't know if I want to take care of somebody.
dude, as you get older, once you're like already set in your ways, for me, I'm like, I don't want to share my living space with
Right? I don't
Like,
want to.
I don't want to have to answer to somebody else. Like, it's not like I'm doing anything wrong or that would be shady. I just don't want to have to explain myself to anyone. Like, what's the point?
Exactly. Or I don't want to share my bed.
That's the biggest one for me, honestly. I'm like, no, you need to go home so I can sleep. Like,
See,
because
that's why I
I
have
need to
king
sleep.
size. Get off.
Yeah, I mean,
me.
I do have a king size bed, but even then, I'm not a good sleeper. So I'm like, I
Yeah.
just don't like.
Yeah.
don't
I
like
just don't
you
like
sleeping
sharing my
over.
space.
No, me neither. Boys are dirty. Come on.
I know.
That's-
Or the
yeah.
fact is like when I remember I lived by myself, I had everything was like in its own place, right? In my house. Like I lived by myself and someone would come over and they would move it. And I was like, they'd move like a candle to move so they could put their cup down. And I was like, I cannot wait for you to leave because you just moved my candle and it does not go right there. Now I had to get over that when I got married, and then especially having children, right? They like screw everything up.
Yeah.
So that's actually gotten better, but still, I'm like, everything has its place. And if someone comes along and they want to mess it up, I'm going to have a really hard time.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, no, that's my stuff. Your stuff goes at your house in its place, not in my house.
Well, I'm not even a good wife. I don't even like fold Mr. Poindexter's laundry. I just like throw it like into like a little cubby, and I'm like, there you go.
man.
Dude, I don't fold
See?
anybody's laundry in my house either.
Me either.
It goes back in your
I
bin,
do.
and you do whatever you want with it. You can put it
I fold
away
all.
or
You fold all of
Yeah.
your man's
Like
laundry.
when my
That's good.
monsters are here, I do their laundry. I think that's because I'm like miss out on doing some of the mom stuff. So that's my
Yeah.
excuse for that, because I'm like, I'll just do all your stuff. But yeah, I do fold my boyfriend's laundry. But he helps me though.
Well,
Like
see,
if he
that's
sees
nice.
if he sees me doing it, he'll be like, oh, he'll come help
yeah,
me.
but he's so
Yeah.
nice. Like
I
he's
know.
helpful
Yeah.
and just
Or like if I'm doing
Yeah.
the dishes, he'll like come over and like grab and put them in there.
yeah, because
It's
he's probably
true.
like, ooh, hey baby, I want to stand next to you.
That sounds like a nice man. I'd maybe fold my husband's laundry. I mean, honestly, he doesn't like the way I fold his laundry. That's the main reason. He says I don't like fold it properly.
And
So
she's
I was
like,
like, well,
I
then
do that
you do
on
it yourself.
purpose.
Do it yourself.
Doing that on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, I taught all my kids how to do their laundry like years ago. Well, Annabelle, I was at your house when they learned how to do the laundry. Then they called one day and they're like, so how much soap do you put in? And I'm like, up to the
Yeah.
line. Well, how much water? And I was like, oh, so
Yeah.
that's so cute.
It does it on its own. Yeah, and that way, like sometimes, I mean, I do mostly do the laundry just because, you know, I sort of am just doing it. But when the kids are like, "Where's this?" I'm like, "You know how to do laundry, so they know. Don't you dare come at me. If you know you need something clean, you need to wash that because I'm not being on somebody else's timetable for washing your dirty ass clothes."
It's true. It's very true.